Greetings, subscribers! I should hope that you're all already familiar with the Washington Irving tale, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, story of the Headless Horseman. And if you're subscribed to my channel, then you should already know that Sleepy Hollow, New York is indeed a real place, only about 15 minutes north of New York City. Last week I posted a video out going to Staten Island, New York, and visiting the gravesite of a real person named Ichabod Crane, who the character was named after despite being nothing like. However, author Washington Irving did base the personality of his character Ichabod Crane on a real person, one named Jesse Merwin, who lived much of his life in the town of Kinderhook, New York, which is about 100 miles north of Sleepy Hollow, or a 2-hour drive. So in spring of 2024, I decided to drive there and make a video about it. I'll get to my visit shortly, but first, for those not familiar with the history, I'd like to inform you. New York State was first settled by Dutch and called New Amsterdam. Dutch people set up homes all across the Hudson Valley. And to this day, Kinderhook holds the best preserved look of an old Dutch settlement. Still, the town is best known for being the home of Martin Van Buren, the 8th President of the United States. He was both born and passed away here. His home is now a museum, but I'm here to tell you that years before Van Buren became president, author Washington Irving visited him at this home. And it was here that Van Buren introduced Irving to his friend and local schoolteacher, Jesse Merwin. Merwin was a New England Yankee, born and raised in Milford, Connecticut, who traveled to the Dutch-speaking community of Kinderhook, New York, looking for a job as a schoolteacher. Sound familiar? If not, then you know nothing about Ichabod Crane. And to this day, right off Kinderhook's Route 9H, is this old schoolhouse now called Ichabod Crane Schoolhouse. This is where Jesse Merwin taught, and the town apparently now prides itself in being the home of the real Ichabod Crane Schoolhouse. I was there on a Monday afternoon in April when it was closed, but I'm told that if you come back at the right time, you can be allowed inside. I'm not sure if there's a charge, that's something you'll have to look into on your own. The best I can tell you is, there is this little parking lot outside for the schoolhouse. I made certain the doors were locked when I was there. I'm sorry I can't show you anything of the inside. The outhouse is still there, so this is where the real Ichabod Crane personality relieved himself. There are plenty of signs with information about Jesse Merwin. I never knew there was a comic book about Rip Van Winkle and the Headless Horseman. This sign shows a comparison of Merwin to the real Ichabod Crane namesake, and they look nothing alike. But I'd like you to notice that red building in the background. That's called Lucas Van Allen House. Please don't confuse that name with Eddie Van Halen. Although these images might make it difficult to tell, I'm guessing it's about 200 feet from the schoolhouse to the Van Allen house. And a real person named Katrina Van Tassel once resided here. So while Irving's character Katrina Van Tassel was based on a real person of a different name who actually lived in Sleepy Hollow, it's safe to assume that Irving took the name Katrina Van Tassel from a woman he met here in Kinderhook. Maybe it's just my imagination, but to me, this little swamp outside the Van Allen house has the feel of something that would fit right in with Irving's tale. Anyway, I wanted to explore Kinderhook a little more. There are a lot of old houses and old buildings. If it wasn't for the cars, you might have a hard time guessing what year this is. And there's a lot more history of this town. Benedict Arnold was here. But as pleasant as it was to walk around this area, I saw nothing here to suggest this town had any appreciation for the history of Jesse Merwin. That is, until I came across the Ichabod Crane Central School District, a high school, middle school, and elementary school, all named after Ichabod Crane. There was a quote from Washington Irving written on the wall, and the school buses all had the name Ichabod Crane written on them. There was this mural of a school bus. Can you even call this a mural? The school's sports teams were called the Ichabod Crane Riders. So, plenty of Ichabod Crane pride here. For the end of the day, I drove to Kinderhook Cemetery. It's best known for being the burying place of Martin Van Buren, but Jesse Merwin is buried here as well. The road known as Albany Avenue goes right through the cemetery. It's said that the graveyard is open from sunrise to sunset, but there are no gates to stop people from walking in at any hour. This is Martin Van Buren's gravesite, and very close is Merwin's. I'm going to show you this shot taken from the road. Here's Merwin's tombstone, and this behind is Van Buren's. But the whole cemetery is very old, and has both a pleasant and haunted feel. I also want to mention that signs just outside town lead you to Rip Van Winkle Bridge, named after Washington Irving's short Rip Van Winkle, which is Irving's second most popular work after The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. The bridge crosses the Hudson River. I also want to mention that earlier that day, I ate at an old diner called Chief Martindale Diner, which, aside from having a real old school diner feel inside, had plenty of Native American decorations. Being there gave me little reminders of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow's mentions of Native Americans. And the food was quite delicious. I don't know everything about what stereotypes are considered rude or offensive to Native Americans. I hope nothing here is. I'll also clarify that this diner is not in Kinderhook, but 18 miles outside it. However, it is right off the nearest highway exit. And that's basically it for today. But as always, I'd like to hear some feedback from you viewers. Did you find this information to be interesting? Helpful? Does it make you want to go there? Or do you know of more information that you feel I should have included? Please leave it all in the comments below. Please hit like. And if you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more of my videos, then please feel free to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell. I would love to have you. Thank you, and happy Halloween.